Hello everybody, welcome to Bedrock Basics Badlands episode number 12. Today we're taking our blaze rods to make blaze powder and then turning ender pearls into eyes of ender. Why? So that we can throw the eyes of ender in the air and find a stronghold. What's in the stronghold? Why, the gateway to the end. What's in the end? Well, that's today's episode. Taking down the ender dragon, and I'm going to tell you a little story about the Norse dragon, the NIDHOGG, and you tell me in the comments if you think the NIDHOGG is the ender dragon. So first off, we throw our eyes of ender in the air and follow them until we get to the location where they just dive into the ground, and that tells us we're above the stronghold. So we're digging down and down and down and down, and finally at a height of minus 20 something, we can see bricks down here, and those stone bricks are an indicator that that's the stronghold there. Minus 26, yeah, minus 30. So don't give up hope if you don't find it right away. It's not like a treasure chest, it's a little deeper. And then now that we're down in the stronghold, we gotta find the end portal. And of course the stronghold, it's got all kinds of spaces and is super dark. Perfect breeding ground for monsters. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's a spawner right next to the end portal, and we got to get rid of that because it's just gonna endlessly make vermin and pests for us to deal with. Okay, you'll see that there's blank spots in the portal here, and we have to fill them up with eyes of ender. Every portal on world generation has a random number. This one had 2 that are already filled in for us. We have to bring enough eyes of ender to fill in the remainder of the 12. So before we step in, we want to make a safe place here with the spawn bed. If the dragon kills us, we don't want to wind up back at our origin point. We actually want to spawn close to the portal. So even though the portal's open, we're just going to do a few things before we jump in. Number 1, we need a way out of this place. So I'm just carving my way right through the walls at grid coordinates that I can remember, and just going to make a staircase here. And I won't waste your valuable viewer time just to watch me build a staircase. Just trust me. We're going to make a staircase out of here. Okay, and that'll be the staircase location there. But more importantly to our task, we should get to setting up this area so that we can go in and confront the ender dragon. Okay, so just while I am carving out a little bit of a base here to work out of, because if the ender dragon kills me, we're just going to spawn back here, grab more materials, and keep going. When we spawn through, you're either on an island just outside of the main mass, or you're down in a hole. And I happen to be down in a hole. So I've got my digging tools with me. And you'll notice I brought a few stacks of stone. And that's just to pillar up and deal with the end crystals. So the mechanics of the ender dragon, hopefully everybody already knows, but if you don't, he will fly around and get repaired and healed by end crystals. So number 1 priority is don't worry about damaging the dragon at all. Get rid of the crystals. And the area is populated with endermen. And even Minecraft says that the end dragon is actually in conflict with the endermen. And that's right off their official video about the end update. And that's important for a bit of my rant that I think it's actually the NIDHOGG from Norse mythology. So before we get into that, just draw your attention to, we tower up, and a couple of the crystals are encased in iron bars. So we just break through, and any damage at all to the end crystal causes it to blow up. And the explosion is a little bit stronger than TNT, so make sure that you're in a safe spot before you pop them. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just making quick little shelters in the side of the obsidian pillars because there's a lot of Endermen. And Endermen require a 3-block space to come and get you. So by making 2 high spaces, we can duck in and the Endermen can't chase you into these little protected alcoves. And here we are, we're just tunneling up. And definitely bring a bow or some kind of ranged weapon. Because from the height of one pillar, you'll be able to reach multiple pillars. And that's going to save you a lot of headache just to pillar up, pillar down all the time to try and get these crystals. You don't have to destroy the crystals to defeat the dragon. But if you don't get rid of the crystals, he's going to be healing a lot. So I just completely ignore the big guy. Or big girl, if you will. Until all the crystals are gone. There I just took some damage because the dragon knocked me off the top of the pillar. And if I didn't have featherfall boots on, that probably would have been the end of me. Or at least back to the spawn point. But we continue on. So I'm sure you get the point here, and just follow along with what I'm doing, and I'll talk about the NIDHOGG while I'm doing this. My battle tactic is hit and run. Once the crystals are gone, any damage you do to the dragon is pretty much permanent. So even if you just whittle them away a little at a time, the effects will add up and you'll get them. It doesn't matter how many times the dragon gets you, you just got to get him once. So as we go along, in Norse mythology, right, there's an immense tree called Yggdrasil, which is basically the world tree. Its branches extend into the heavens, and it is supported beneath the earth by 3 roots. The first root goes to the home of the gods, Asgard, where they go every day to hold court. Right? The Norns live under one of the roots, and there's a well there. And there's the second root that goes to Jotunheim, and again there's a well underneath that root. Right? Jotunheim's the land of the frost giants and trolls. And then there's the third root. The third root goes to Niflheim, which is where the goddess Hel, not to be confused with the Christian Hel, but the Norse goddess Hel, rules the underworld. Okay. Forgive my pronunciation, but we'll go with Vergelmir. Right? I'm sure I butchered that. But Vergelmir is the wellspring of cold and the source of all cold rivers. It's located under the route to the underworld. Above the spring is where you'll find the dragon NIDHOGG, right? The Dreadbiter. And look at this. This is a cold, desolate, barren plain, which totally matches the Norse understanding of what the afterlife would be like. And this is the afterlife not for the heroes that go to the halls of Valhalla to feast, but all the ones that died without honor, right? Either they were not noteworthy or even criminals. They would go to Niflheim. And I see a direct parallel here. Like Endstone, it's pretty barren down here. Like you've got chorus fruit and these Endermen very well could be those unfortunate souls that died without honor. Now follow me on that track. And then there's the big black NIDHOGG, right? Which is a monstrous serpent or dragon. He's supposedly chewing on the root of Yggdrasil. There's 10 pillars. Okay, Norse mythology talks about 9 realms, but we'll just let that one go. And apparently, in some versions, there is an island where murderers and other criminals would go, and the NIDHOGG would actually feast upon them and use them for sustenance. Right? So, oh, explosion. Wrong height. Oops. Respawn. So, here we are in a central island littered with Endermen, and even Mojang says that the dragon is actually in conflict with the Endermen, And in Norse mythology, the NIDHOGG was feasting upon the murderers and other criminals that had died. Just way too many parallels there. Like, I'm not saying it is, it's just a video game, we're having fun, but come on, the story just matches so much. And then with that, Mojang. It's a company based in Sweden. Vikings come primarily from 3 places, one of which is Sweden. Just either consciously or subconsciously, man, to me, that Ender Dragon is the NIDHOGG. I'd love to entertain any of your comments about that, and that's kind of why I run around with a Viking skin. And now that I've got all my equipment, and after this guy gets down, my artistic builds are going to be mythology based, because I'm totally seeing a Viking story here. Anyway, Norse mythology, a lot of fun. Odin, Thor, Loki, NIDHOGG. Again, love to hear your comments, but that's what I'm seeing. So there he is, and the dragon's got 2 stages to hit him. When he's perched on there, you can't hurt him with ranged weapons. That's why I brought my sword with me. And just wear away at him. And I don't care at this point, because all the crystals are gone, I don't care how many times they get me. But I just have to get them once. The score could be Dragon 10, player 1. To me, that's player wins. And let's be realistic. There's a lot of people that will claim, oh look, we'll just one-shot the dragon. Yeah, I've one-shot him before. But realistically, we've all got a save game we go back to, just in case. The edges of this world, they lead down into the void. If I ever fell into the void and lost all my enchanted gear, I'm going to be honest with all you viewers. I'm going to reload my saved game and do it again. Just because the amount of time it would take to regain all my enchanted equipment, my netherite weapons and everything else. It's a significant amount of time that's invested there. So always save your game and export your worlds for a backup. You never know if you got a lightning storm at home and the file gets corrupted. Do those extra things. That's why those tools are there. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, it's hardcore and I've done everything on one shot without ever dying. I don't trust a lot of those stories. Anyway, this is Bedrock Basics. Just Bedrock Edition. No mods, no cheating. Just a lot of fun and some creative building. Okay, that being said, the dragon's on its last leg here. Let's finish him off. Come on. There it is. With the NIDHOGG, I mean the Ender Dragon down, the well opens up. And in Bedrock Edition, you can get 2 dragon eggs. The first time and the second time you beat the dragon, an egg will spawn. Every time after that, it doesn't. I believe in Java Edition, it only spawns off the first one. Minor detail, and it's only supposed to do 1. But there's a glitch in Bedrock Edition where you can actually get 2 of those. So we hit it with the pickaxe, which causes it to teleport to a random block close by, and we take that torch and we stick it underneath, because the egg itself is indestructible. You can't mine it to pick it up. You've got to get to fall on a partial block or a torch, and then it's collectible. And there happens to be 4 torches right on the well there. And of all things, like, come on, it's a well. It's a well. It's a Norse story just waiting to unfold. Anyway, every time you defeat the Ender Dragon, a portal opens up. And there can be up to 20 of these. And each of these portals, when you go through them, you can see it up in the air, and I'm just going to mark the location on the ground so it's easier to find. And I'm just going to mark it with again, an Enderman shelter that I can run under here and fix myself when required. Each of those portals will take you to the outer area of the end dimension, where we'll find end cities and flying ships to get the almighty Elytra. Ooh, nothing but void down there. Watch our step. That is a story for another episode. But with the dragon dead, we jump through the well, and it gives you a nice little interesting poem. We're going to skip it here. When you beat the dragon on your own, you can read it. But for now, that's the NIDHOGG down, and I would love to hear your comments, because I think that's the NIDHOGG story. Thanks for watching.